Hello all, welcome to my YouTube channel Lenin 8. So in this video we are going to discuss about a Java program to find the year is a leap year or not. For example, if the input is 2000 as a year, then the output is yes, it's a leap year. If the input is 1000, then the output is no, it's not a leap year. If the input is 2024, then the output is a leap year. So now let us understand what is the logic behind this. To understand this one, I am taking a sample year number, say 2000. If this is the year, then what we have to check? So as a programmer, so we have to write a logic in such a way that we have to check all the possible conditions, then we have to conclude it's a leap year or not. So first thing is we have to do is for any year as input, if you take your year as an input, then the first thing which you have to check is whether it is divisible by 4 or not. That means whenever we are dividing the year with 4, then there are two possibilities. One is it may be not divisible. One is it may be yes, it is divisible. I mean remainder is 0. So if remainder is 0, then we have multiple possibilities. But if remainder is not 0, then we can simply conclude here itself that it's not leap year. If it is yes, then what we have to do? There is one more condition we have to check, that is modulo with 100 as well. So again, for this also two possibilities. What are those? One is no and one is yes. And here is the important step to understand. If 100 is no, what is the meaning of this one? Year which is divisible by 4 is yes, and a year which is divisible by 100, same year which is divisible by 100 is no. It means only divisible by 4. Then here is the important point. We have to conclude this as it's a leap year. Yeah, I hope this point is clear. Then followed by, for 100 yes, there are two more possibilities, that by checking with 400 as well. So again, one may be no and another one may be yes. So since this is our last condition, even for yes we can conclude, even for no also we can conclude. So if it is no, what's the meaning of this no? 4 is yes, 100 is yes, 400 is no. Then the conclusion is it's not leap year. Then the next possibility, 4 yes, 100 yes, 400 also yes. Then we can conclude that it's a leap year. This is the simple logic of what's a leap year. So I mean to say, if any year is divisible by only 4, only 4 means not 100, not also 400, then we can say that it's a leap year. It's a leap year. Then the next possibility is if a year which is divisible by 4 and 100 but not 400, then the conclusion is it's not leap year. Then the last possibility, if the year is divisible by 4 as well as 100 and also as well as 400, then we can say that it's a leap year. So this is the simplest logic which is behind this one. If you understand this, then writing Java code is very, very easy. Now the same thing, if we take one integer kind of variable, so int, I'm naming the variable name as year and equals some value. So again, I keep repeatedly saying that logic is always depends on the variable name, not on the value. Then followed by, these are the conditions which you have to check. So first, the outermost condition, that is if, and the same input variable year, if we divide with 4 and if the remainder is 0, can we conclude here? No, we can't conclude. But if it is no, that is the corresponding else part, we can happily conclude that it's not a leap year. It's not a leap year. Next, what is the next possibility? So if it is yes for 4, then we have to check one more condition. That's after 4, it's 100 to be checked. Again, I am using a nested condition. If the same variable name as year, and when we are dividing with 100, if the remainder is 0, then we can't conclude it directly. But if it is not divisible by 100, I mean the remainder is not 0, we can happily conclude it's a, what it is a leap year. So this is the important point, remember please. Then the next possible condition we have to check, that is again one more in the nested part. If year, if we check with 400, if the remainder is 0, Then here we have one conclusion saying that since it's a one line of statement, I'm not using curly brace. So print it's a leap year. Then for 400, if it is no, then the corresponding else part is it's not leap year. So this is the simplest program of writing a Java logic for leap year or not. There is one more logic also that will execute directly in Eclipse. I'll explain in two different ways in Eclipse. I hope this is clear. Let us go to Eclipse. So here I'm back to Eclipse. So I have taken a class name called leap year, and inside this main method using scanner class to read the year into a variable name called year by using se.nextInt method. Then followed by the same logic which we have discussed. So if it is first condition, if the variable year, and when we try to divide with 4. So first we have to divide with 4 only. The order is also important. I'll discuss one more example with what is the importance of the order. So if this is yes, we cannot conclude. But if this is no, we can conclude that it's not leap year. So I'm just simply writing not leap. Then for if it is true, then we have to check one more condition as a nested condition, same variable. And when we try to divide with 100, and if the remainder is 0 again, then we can't conclude it directly. But if it is not divisible by 100, then we have a conclusion. So what is the conclusion here? This is the important point I keep repeatedly saying. It's a leap year. 4 is yes, 100 is no. Then no need to bother about checking 400. We can conclude it's leap year. Then the next condition is third nested part. Inside this one, again the year variable, we check with 400. If the remainder is 0, then we have one conclusion, that is 4 and 100, 400, all three are yes, then it's a leap year. Then for this else part, what is the else part? It is 4 yes, 100 yes, 400 no. Then we have to print it as a not leap year. So this is the same thing that we discussed. And once you understand the logic, writing a program is easy. Now let us execute. So I'm giving the input as say 2000. It's a leap year. Yes, it's a leap year. And I'll give the input as say 1000. This is not a leap year. 1000 is divisible by 4 and 100, but not 400. So it's not leap year. Then I'm going for another number, 2024. It's only divisible by 4. Therefore, it's also leap year. I hope you understood. So as I said, we discuss one more easiest way of logic to write Java program for the same program. So I have taken one more class name and using a scanner class object to read the integer from keyboard by using nextInt method, storing back to a variable year. Now this is the another logic for the same leap year. So first I'm taking inside this one more parenthesis. So year variable, first we have to check with 4, and if it is divisible by 4, the remainder is 0. Then along with this, so we have to check one more condition, that is by using logical AND operator. So again the year variable, and this time we have to check 100, and if it is not equal to 0, we should not use space here, not equal to 0. This is one part. And then along with this, there is a logical OR operator. And next condition to be checked is, so here when we divide with 400, if the remainder is 0. So this is the condition which we have to check. And since it's only one line of code, no need of curly braces, so I'm using to print the leap year. Then if it is above condition is not true, then the corresponding else part, the else part is obviously not leap year. So this is one more way of writing the same logic, and let us execute now. So again, I'll give the input as say 2000. Since it is divided by 4 and 100 and 400, it's a leap year. And then I'll give the input as say 1000. It's not a leap year. One more time, I'll give 2024. It is a leap year. So this is another way of writing the same logic. So for more clarity, I recommend you to debug this program for the JVM's execution flow. I hope you understood this program. And for more videos, you can use the comment section to write your questions, and see you in the next video. Thank you.